practice, we go to the council elected
They're not
officials
voting on the risk management.
first, and then we will open it up for public comment, open business. Is there any open business from the council?
Chairman,
Council.
I would like to make a motion to approve settlement of claim number QE-0216 as recommended by risk management.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Brandana, supported by Councilwoman Witten. Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Please come forward.
What would that, what would that be concerning?
That we cannot share. It is a confidential settlement of a claim against the city of Teal.
Confidential settlement?
I know what it is.
Is there any further discussion?
I have a question.
Do you have the mic?
Yeah. Turn it on. Green.
Good evening.
If it's confidential, can we know the name of the claimant?
No.
No.
So we will have this will not be in minute meetings or on the internet or any online services.
No.
Great.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Daniel?
Yes.
Ms. Linton?
Yes.
Mrs. Brandana? Yes. Mr. Johnson?
No.
Ms. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Geis?
Yes. Motion passes 5-1. That will bring us to additional open business. Is there any open business from the council?
Chairman,
Yes.
I think you were going to speak to the sycamore trees,
Yes.
and that was one thing
So,
that
yeah, I'm not certain, Mr. Mayor, if you've been contacted, certainly it's your street, Champaign, and there's concern that, some sycamore trees that were either slated or have been cut down. So, go ahead.
So, Mr. Chairman, yes, Mr. Richard told me about it, and nobody ever reached out to me. We are starting a program where sycamore trees are not only a nuisance tree, but they're also, a lot of them are diseased, and the biggest problem is they are filling up our catch basins. I can tell you on a regular basis, my neighborhood has the most, so that's why we're starting in my neighborhood. I do not have one in front of my house, so I just want to make that very clear. Our goal is to kind of start taking them down one by one as we can. We go to every resident who has one in front of their house and get their permission. We're going to plant trees back in that location with the same trees that we have on the Good to Great program.
So are we going to take sycamores off the approved trees that can be planted in the city?
Yeah, that's already off.
Sycamores are already off?
Mm-hmm.
Really? All right, don't replace them with Bradford pears.
No, that's not on the list.
Okay. All joking aside, I mean, certainly Champaign, used to be a beautiful canopy, and then I think as the Dutch elm went through and kind of that first decimated it, so.
Through the chair, I can tell you that the leaves that come out of sycamore trees, the bark is one of the biggest issues. They peel their bark and it gets into the street and it floods the drains, even though we sweep the streets now. Many residents in my neighborhood, me included, we kind of take turns going out and cleaning the drains during large storms because it floods the road. The other thing with the sycamore is, to me, it's kind of it's a beautiful tree, but it's just problematic. It's a nuisance. And when a limb falls off a maple or something, you pick up twigs out of your yard. When a limb falls off of a sycamore, it's 6 or 8 feet long. I mean, the possibility of it damaging, people's cars or even a human being is definitely a possibility. So we decided that we were going to launch this, and we were going to kind of announce it more in the fall. And right now, our cutting crews are kind of getting their legs underneath them with this neighborhood and just kind of getting it down, and they're really doing well. I'm very impressed by how quick completed Champaign, and then they're going to continue to go, they're going east to west, and they're going to go north-south. They're going to do the entire neighborhood. And then throughout the city, there's a few spots where there are, but it's mostly, it's nothing like the Fair Lane neighborhood. So that's the main reason that they decided to do that neighborhood. I had no say-so in that matter whatsoever, especially since I live in that neighborhood.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
So when the trees are replaced with new trees, are they baby trees, or if so it'll be like years before there's shade, or?
Yeah, I mean, they're not big, but they're probably about the size of a flagpole maybe, they're starters. I can tell you when I moved in my house about 15 years ago, it was kind of a little bigger than that, and it's maturing into a good sized tree. So yeah, it will take a little time, but we are going to continue to plant these trees. We just sent it to Guido last week. We are a Tree City USA again. We did receive that award. So we're going to continue, because I do love all the trees in that neighborhood. It's like that, but those sycamores have just gotten so big and become such a nuisance. It's time to start addressing them, because it's something serious can happen with these trees. They're not taken down.
Councilwoman.
So are you gonna remove them all at once, like this summer? Are they all gonna be gone, or are you doing it staggered?
No, it's going to be like, so I expected, I got to give Mr. Hall credit and his crew. They said they were going to start at Beach Daily and work towards Telegraph, and I think there's only about 2 or 3 trees left. And what they're doing is when they take down a couple, they go back and they're actually stumping and smoothing the surface and putting the grass seed down. So they're doing really, really well. And we just figured in the fall, when they have a little more time, that they can address it more. Plus, a lot of the leaves are already off the tree, which would make it a little easier as well.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
So we're leaving the stuff?
No, we're riding the stump, and that's what I'm saying. They're getting to that even quicker than I anticipated. So they're definitely achieving greatness right now as far as going back within a few days, hitting the stumps and actually leveling it, cleaning the area, and putting grass seed back down and stuff. So once that ground gets, they'll go back in and put a tree in probably in the spring. If it was cut down this year, it probably wouldn't get put in until either the fall or the spring of the thing.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
So the calls that come through the call center, do we have someone addressing each and every
Yes.
person
Yeah.
that's calling about their tree?
We only received one. They did reach out to Mr. Hall, and he had told them this is an individual that doesn't have one of these trees in their yard. Like I said, we have gotten permission, but we've discussed it with them, and every person that has one has been more than happy to have that tree removed from their front yard. It's in the easement, it's our tree, but we don't want to,
But if they refuse, would we leave it?
So right now, what we're saying is we're going through and getting yeses, and if there's any no's, we'll address that after we get done towards the end of the neighborhood, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chairman.
Any further questions on this topic? We did have, there's one electronic submission, but before we get to that, there was a email that came in the park at Goddard and Party that the water isn't running, but also some maintenance, and there was a question, or I believe our council secretary reached out to administration, and that park is part of the HOA. Is that correct?
That is correct, that's what I've been told. And, when they first built those, I think the city built those.
And there used to be a gas station there that could not be built on.
They constructed that park, I think they paid for the statues that were in there in the water, but after it was done, it was handed over to that HOA, so they are responsible for the maintenance of that park and anything within that park.
Good, Chair. Back when I was the plumber for the city, I maintained the sprinkler system there, the backflow preventer. So I don't know how you guys got that separated, but it's a big 2-inch line for the sprinkler system.
Well, that's what, I'll double check,